Chapter 4. The dogs loved Sara first. Lottie slept beside her bed, curled in a soft circle, and Nick leaned his face on the covers in the morning, watching for the first sign that Sara was awake. No one knew where Seal slept. Seal was a roamer. Sara's collection of shells sat on the windowsill. A scallop, she told us, picking up the shells one by one. A sea clam. An oyster. A razor clam. And a conch shell. If you put it to your ear, you can hear the sea. She put it to Caleb's ear, then mine. Papa listened too. Then Sara listened once more with a look so sad and far away that Caleb leaned against me. "At least Sara can hear the sea," he whispered. Papa was quiet and shy with Sara, and so was I. But Caleb talked to Sara from morning until the light left the sky. "Where are you going?" he asked. "To do what?" "To pick flowers," said Sara. "I'll hang some of them upside down and dry them so they'll keep some color, and we can have flowers all winter long." "I'll come too," cried Caleb. "Sara said winter," he told me. "That means Sara will stay." Together we picked flowers, paintbrush and clover and prairie violets. There were buds on the wild roses that climbed up the paddock fence. "The roses will bloom in early summer," I told Sara. I looked to see if she knew what I was thinking. Summer was when the wedding would be. Might be. Sara and Papa's wedding. We hung the flowers from the ceiling in little bunches. "I've never seen this before," said Sara. "What is it called?" "Bride's bonnet," I told her. Caleb smiled at the name. "We don't have this by the sea," she said. "We have seaside goldenrod and wild asters and woolly ragwort." "Woolly ragwort!" Caleb whooped. He made up a song. "Woolly ragwort all around, woolly ragwort on the ground. Woolly ragwort grows and grows, woolly ragwort in your nose." Sara and Papa laughed, and the dogs lifted their heads and thumped their tails against the wood floor. Seal sat on a kitchen chair and watched us with yellow eyes. We ate Sara's stew, the late light coming through the windows. Papa had baked bread that was still warm from the fire. "The stew is fine," said Papa. "Yup," Sara nodded. "The bread, too." "What does yup mean?" asked Caleb. "In Maine, it means yes," said Sara. "Do you want more stew?" "Yup," said Caleb. "Yup," echoed my father. After dinner, Sara told us about William. "He has a gray and white boat named Kittiwake." She looked out the window. "That is a small gull found way off the shore where William fishes. There are 3 aunts who live near us. They wear silk dresses and no shoes. You would love them." "Yup," said Caleb. "Does your brother look like you?" I asked. "Yes," said Sara. "He is plain and tall." At dusk, Sara cut Caleb's hair on the front steps, gathering his curls and scattering them on the fence and ground. Seal batted some hair around the porch as the dogs watched. "Why?" asked Caleb. "For the birds," said Sara. "They will use it for their nests. Later we can look for nests of curls." "Sara said later," Caleb whispered to me as we spread his hair about. "Sara will stay." Sara cut Papa's hair too. No one else saw, but I found him behind the barn tossing the pieces of hair into the wind for the birds. Sara brushed my hair and tied it up and back with a rose velvet ribbon she had brought from Maine. She brushed hers long and free and tied it back too, and we stood side by side looking into the mirror. I looked taller, like Sara, and fair and thin, and with my hair pulled back, I looked a little like her daughter. Sara's daughter. And then it was time for singing. Sara sang us a song we had never heard before as we sat on the porch, insects buzzing in the dark, the rustle of cows in the grasses. It was called "Sumer is a Coomin' In," and she taught it to us all, even Papa, who sang as if he had never stopped singing. Sumer is a coomin in, lute sing cuckoo. What is Sumer? Asked Caleb. He said it Sumer the way Sara had said it. Summer, said Papa and Sara at the same time. Caleb and I looked at each other. Summer was coming. Tomorrow, said Sara, I want to see the sheep. You know, I've never touched one. Never? Caleb sat up. Never, said Sara. She smiled and leaned back in her chair. But I've touched seals. Real seals. They are cool and slippery, and they slide through the water like fish. They can cry and sing, and sometimes they bark, a little like dogs. Sara barked like a seal, and Lottie and Nick came running from the barn to jump up on Sara and lick her face and make her laugh. Sara stroked them and scratched their ears, and it was quiet again. I wish I could touch a seal right now, said Caleb, his voice soft in the night. So do I, said Sara. She sighed. Then she began to sing the summer song again. Far off in a field, a meadowlark sang too.